there was one time this guy asked me like, oh, can you take a picture of what you're wearing today from the back? And then I was like,
why? Hello, I am Muna Bagarib and I am an actress, presenter and key opinion leader, if you didn't know. I think I am pretty good with kids. I just am a really bad teacher. And usually when people ask me like,
No, but how do you do that?
I'm like, you just know. It's the worst. Oh. Okay. How to recognize sexual grooming. Today you will be challenged to explain and hold a conversation with a 13-year-old about sexual grooming and how to protect yourself from it. Sexual grooming is becoming more prevalent with youth spending more time online. Many underage victims has been groomed for sexual abuse. It is therefore important to discuss with the young ones so that they know how to protect themselves and to be able to see the signs before it happens. Find out what they know about the topic and try your best to correct him or her if they are wrong. Your explanation would be rated by an expert. All the best. Ready? I know it from stories, but if it's in terms of facts of it, I think I would need the expert to come in. I think the expert should just be beside me the whole time and just like, no, don't say this, don't say this. So good luck me.
My name is Sham. I'm the head of Touch Parenting, a service of Touch Community Services. The way we define sexual grooming in this case is the act of building up a trusting and emotional relationship with a minor. A lot of times we are hearing from the parents that we meet that they do not know who they are talking to. We are trying our very best to advise mummies and daddies at home on how parents rather can help their children be safe while connecting with friends online and meeting people from all over the place.
Hello,
Hi.
welcome to my lounge. I'm Muna.
I'm Julianne.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I provide everything here. Binoculars? Sure. Do you want some music? How are you feeling?
A bit nervous, but pretty excited. I'm sitting next to the Muna, like Singapore icon.
No, don't
Yeah.
say this kind of thing. Oh my God, Led. Now you make me nervous.
Maybe that was the point.
Turn it. All right, I'm watching you.
She's 13, right? Dye hair so fast. What's going on there?
The big topic that we're talking about today is sexual grooming.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, what do you know about sexual grooming?
it's like when someone older, without consent, touch someone younger than them.
Yeah, you're right. And just for someone older to target someone and manipulate someone younger, that's already quite wrong. Do you know of any people who have experienced this kind of thing?
I a survivor, like a victim of sexual grooming. It was quite traumatic, and it really affected my life a lot. It happened slowly. This guy, he messaged me on Instagram, and then he told me he was like 16. We continued talking for a while. He wanted to meet. I didn't want to, but I guess he kind of convinced me to. And then when I met him, he looked more like 18 and above, maybe in his early 20s. He kind of like sexually assaulted me because I wanted to keep it a secret from my parents because I thought they would react badly. I told some of my close friends, like they told teachers. Of course, you should tell teachers when, you know, trust the adult. I didn't really want them to tell a teacher because I knew that it would lead to my mom knowing. And I was really scared because I didn't want my mom to not trust me anymore. And I was scared that if the guy found out, and I was scared that like he would do something bad to me or my friends. He kind of threatened to. I never really said it out loud until one night. Like I was calling my friend about it, and she kept telling me not to go and I should tell my mom. He convinced me to tell my mom lah. And then that night we went to the police station to make a report.
I think with Julianne recounting her experience, her negative experience, is a very typical experience of most young people who have bad encounters with people they meet online. If you do come across friends who are encountering a similar situation that she had gone through, it's always important to speak to a trusted adult to ensure that the incident does not happen again.
How did you move from that incident
time kind of healed it, I guess, because it wasn't my first time getting groomed. I knew that I've gone through it before, I can do it again. And it really helped getting support from my friends.
So with sexual grooming, I think there are some telltale signs to kind of suss out that like, this person might be a little bit suspicious, right? What do you think these are?
But if they start asking like maybe too personal questions
Yeah.
and inappropriate questions too.
With me, like as soon as I feel that, like shut that down or move away from it, like don't have to engage in that.
Because some people don't have the courage to say no, and I feel like it's very sad. Kind of a stem from childhood. It might become a habit saying yes even to things that you don't want to. You might say yes to something that could really harm your life.
That's important. Being empowered and learning to say no. I think young people, teenagers need to understand where is that line that they will never allow others to cross in terms of relationship with them.
Actually, even adults, I think, still feel like sometimes they're like, no, I need validation.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult, you know? Like, of course, people want to be liked, but it's how much you sacrifice of yourself. I have notes.
You have notes? Why don't I have notes?
Favoritism.
Oh my god.
Okay, I think maybe we can both share
Okay.
some tips and tricks on how people can identify if they are being sexually groomed.
You should note when things are getting too close, and you should let them know that they are crossing their boundaries. Sometimes people don't know, so it's very important that you establish your boundaries in relationship. But if they know and they still cross it, I think that's one of the signs.
I agree with her. First thing is to know and establish the boundaries. Take reference from the boundary so that you know how to act when that boundary is crossed.
Like, I think you have to be guarded to a certain degree. You need to understand this person's intention before you really just, be vulnerable with someone new, especially.
Maybe when they give you a lot of gifts, they might use that against you, saying like, oh, they bought you things, so you have to give them something in return.
Yeah. The other one is, I think something you mentioned, like if they're making sexual remarks, that one is definitely a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Even though, the person might say like,
No, don't worry, like, it's how we talk, it's how we chat, it's banter.
It's not.
okay. Asking for photos is
Yeah.
one of them.
There was one time this guy asked me like, oh, can you take a picture of what you're wearing today from the back? And then I was like,
Why?
and then I was really suspicious, so I just blocked him.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the right thing, guys.
She did a good thing here. She disconnect and block the person on whatever social media platform that she was communicating with on. Go with that feel, that gut feeling, right? That instinct, and that's the way you protect yourself.
Maintaining control. This is actually, we've kind of like talked about it like in a broad sense, blackmail or manipulating you into doing things like, you know what, you send me this photo before.
They say they're gonna harm themselves if they don't send you.
They make you feel bad for not giving them what they want, and in turn you are hurting them in some
Yeah.
way. Immediately when you pick it up, you need to speak to someone, and it's always safe for people to know. It's scary to take the first step to say, hey, this is happening. It is so important to have that support and people who know your story and know the background of it and who will be willing to help you. Like, I just wanted to segue into who you can talk to.
When I told my mom, like, something lifted off my chest. Like, I felt I could breathe easier. And like, it was like, oh, I don't need to hide this from her anymore. Like, so parents who are supportive play a huge part, especially in childhood.
I think that's really the importance of why we always encourage young people to go back to home, go back to your parents to talk about it, because they are your best supporter, they are your best help.
Apart from parents, teachers, there are also a lot of organizations out there. Just to name a few, there's Touch Community Services, Aware, school counselors. We all are on the internet, right? There is actually so much access
Yeah.
and so many resources out there. So if you need to, also get in touch with an organization, there are all these people who are here to help you and advise you accordingly.
It was a good experience because I got to talk to like one of my favorite idols in Singapore about such a cliche topic.
It's not cliche. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
It holds so much weight, and,
Yeah,
and
of course.
I didn't realize it was gonna get so deep. I'm very thankful that you shared that, and I think that you should also know that I think you've reached out to so many people who needed to hear that.
Not easy for Muna, because it's going. Julian's responses and her sharing is very raw. It's a difficult position for Muna, and I really appreciate her being very sensitive. And sometimes we just we don't need to push for an answer. I think that's what she's doing really good. All right. Hi, I'm Sham. I'm here of Touch Parenting, a service of Touch Community Services. So I basically work with parents and families and support them in their parenting journey. I think the conversation that you had just now was really insightful. I like the vibe. It was real, and it was also tough, and you handled it really, really well.
Oh, thank
Yeah, and I love the part where you talk about the layers. That was so important because we tend to see things in black and white. Some of these difficult topics and issues have to be done over time. It takes time for you to also talk to your mom and your
Yeah.
parents, right? It takes a bit of time for them to understand the situation. I believe you do have the solutions, or you know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that validation, that affirmation that you're on the right track. But parents being parents, I'm a parent of 3 kids myself. Most of the time we will say, you just do this, do that, you'll be okay. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, actually the young person do have some idea already. You have some idea how to deal with some of these
Yeah.
relationships and friendships that you have. It's a process, it's a journey, and you'll get wiser. And parents just sometimes needs to, instead of leading the child, parents should also have the opportunity to journey with the child. Your mom and dad are learning as well, so go easy on them.
But what I've learned over the years is sometimes all you need is to just listen. Listen first and really understand what the person needs. Sometimes it's not just answers. Sometimes it's support.
So, how would you rate Muna's explanation today?
10 for effort.
Oh, that means
10
a
for
lot.
effort.
Wait,
It's tough.
thank
It's
you.
really tough. You can do counselling lah.
Yeah.
You got
I agree.
the empathy lah, the heart. From a professional perspective, we do have ethics. We do have things that we need to always work on and think about. And so, in terms of information and things, about 7, 8. Yeah. Yeah, we are learning. But you did well. I could have done it better.
Thank you, Shem. That means a lot.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Little Did I Know.
For more exciting content, make sure you follow Clarity on Instagram at itsclarity.co.
And remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye!
Like, as I sit, I'm getting cramped.
Oh, chill me a bit. Just when we talk about fitness, yeah, it affects you a lot. So cut it when you see it already. Yes. Scissors lah, like this.
No, you went like this.
Roll the tape. Did I really? I think you will put it here, or you want me to say it? I think I'll say it. More job for the editors.